Alright, so this is a 6-pin Molex connector from a modular power supply, which is basically the same thing. You can see I pulled one of the pins out of it. So what happens is when you're trying to put the two connectors together, what happens is one of the pins is not straight and it ends up pushing the other pin out of the hole. So what you might see is something like this, where there's a little bit of silver hanging out the back. That tells you the wire is not fully in. It's still in there, it's just moving around loosely in there. And they could possibly push it back in, but what happens is it's not going to stay in. The wire is just in there loosely moving around like so. And when they pull the tray out, push the tray back in, this wire is just moving around as the connector gets pulled around by the tension. And sometimes you get a connection at this end with the other connector plugged into it, sometimes you don't. But you can see there's no silver in there showing. So that's what's happening, is one of those pins somehow got pulled out. The idea is to kind of, if you really look at the connector, you might see a little bit of extra silver hanging out the back like that, or you won't see the silver in the front, or the pin won't be straight or something. And best thing to do is actually grab the connector with your fingers and try to pull on each of the 6 pins. They should not pull out. See? This one does not move at all. And a little bit of play, you can feel in it, but you can't pull it out. This one, you can see, comes out of the hole. Now, on the cables in the market, there's a lot of play on this cable, so it just falls right out. The wires in the market, though, have a shield around it that holds the wires very tight. So there's no room. The wires are like this, held in place. So there's no way for that wire to come out of the hole unless you actually pull it out of the hole. But there's not enough play for it to actually just fall out. So it just ends up sitting in there like this.